Have you ever made a big mistake? I mean a really big one, where you felt so ashamed you thought you could never go back? If so, this story is for you. It's a timeless tale about grace, forgiveness, and the unconditional love of a father. Let's dive into the story of the prodigal son. Once, there was a man who had two sons. One day, the younger son came to his father and said, "Father, give me the share of the estate that is coming to me." This was a huge insult. Basically like saying, "Dad, I wish you were already gone so I could have my money." But the father, full of love, did something extraordinary. He divided his property between his two sons. A few days later, the younger son packed up everything he owned and set off for a distant country. He had big dreams, a pocket full of cash, and no one to tell him what to do. At first, life was a party. He spent his money wildly, living it up with new friends who loved him for his wealth. He thought he had it all, but parties don't last forever. Soon, his money ran out. To make matters worse, a severe famine struck the land, and he found himself in desperate need. He was so broke he had to get a job feeding pigs, which for a Jewish man was the lowest of the low. He was so hungry that he longed to eat the pods the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything. He had hit rock bottom. It was in that smelly pig pen that he finally came to his senses. He thought, "How many of my father's hired servants have more than enough bread? And here I am, starving to death. I will get up and go back to my father, and I will say to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants.'" He was filled with shame, but he had a plan. He wasn't asking to be a son again. He just wanted to be a servant, to earn his keep. So he got up and started the long, humiliating journey home. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him. Can you imagine that? The father had been watching, waiting, hoping every single day. He didn't see a failure or a disgrace. He saw his son. Filled with compassion, the father ran to him, threw his arms around his neck, and kissed him. The son started his rehearsed speech. "Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son." But his father cut him off. He wouldn't even let him finish. Instead, he turned to his servants and shouted, "Quick! Bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring the fattened calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." And the celebration began. The father's joy was overwhelming. His son had come home. But the story doesn't end there. The older son, who had been working faithfully in the field, heard the music and dancing. When he found out what was happening, he became angry and refused to go in. He felt it was completely unfair. He had been the good son, the responsible one. His father came out and pleaded with him. But the older son said, "Look, all these years I've been slaving for you and never disobeyed your orders. Yet you never gave me even a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours, who has squandered your property, comes home, you kill the fattened calf for him." The father's response is one of the most beautiful parts of the story. "My son," the father said, "you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate and be glad, because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." This incredible story shows us a picture of a love that is unconditional, a grace that is greater than our biggest mistakes. It doesn't matter how far we've gone or what we've done. There is always a way back home to a loving embrace that's been waiting for us all along. Thanks for watching. If this story touched you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that inspires. See you next time.